That's what counts.
Counts for what?
Since Crossroads started 24 years ago, it's made many a household name. Remember Sheila and Wilf Harvey?
Get out. How can you just stand there and take it?
Oh, that's all right, love.
And Amy Turtle and Miss Diane.
She was only trying to be friendly, you know. There was no need to act all high and mighty.
Then there was Sandy in his wheelchair and Smoothie David Hunter.
Sandy.
Oh, the return of the wanderer. How was Rome?
Crowded, but beautiful.
Yeah, she is.
And, of course, the queen of Crossroads, Meg Richardson.
Meg, why don't you and I go to a nightclub when you finish here? We haven't danced together for years.
Kevin, I'm a working woman.
Recording 5 episodes a week meant there was no time for retakes, so Crossroads was a bit rough around the edges.
Certainly, madam. A budgerigar.
Oh, darling, come and look. It's the most beautiful sight I've ever seen.
You're the most beautiful sight that I've ever seen.
Husband and wife Adam and Jill Chance, alias Tony Adams and Jane Rossington, have often had to carry on in the face of adversity.
I remember once I played a scene with Noel Gordon. I was talking about somebody coming back to the hotel for their second money hoon. And she just looked at me, and that went out. But it was real, it was funny.
I can remember once a scene with Sandy, a great long plot scene. Lots of plot we had to get through. And we were making breakfast, and I put some toast in the toaster, and we're pouring coffee, and we're discussing this great long plot, and suddenly I got the feeling that something was happening, glanced over at the toaster, which was on fire, and there was flames coming out. It was quite in vision. So we just sort of got the toast out and carried on with the plot, with the odd line like, gosh, that's hot, and things like that. But, oh, my God, flat this out, and we just carried on, and that went out.
Oh, I've never met a lady chef before. Oh, well, we are...
Mistakes happen so often that the regular cast develop ways of coping. If lines were forgotten, a well-placed cough could help.
Oh, it's pretty straightforward here, isn't it? I don't think you'll have any difficulty. Who else works here in the kitchen, Sam?
Well, if there's 2 of you in a scene, you know that when they stop talking, it's you. But if there's more, and you're not too hot on your cues, you think, there's a pause. Must be me. And we used to look at one, I can remember dinner party scenes were great fun, because you'd be sitting looking at somebody directly, and you used to do little nods, you'd go... and then somebody would go... Great fun.
And don't forget to bring the scripts.
Despite all this, Crossroads became a smash hit. According to TV journalist Jeff Baker, it was the show's unpredictability that made it so watchable.
I think, personally, because it was so unreal. It was just unbelievable. It was like... It was better than taking LSD. I mean, it was like 2001 on television.
How? Why? What sort of...
Well, you had, like, Chris Hunter, you know, David Hunter's son being an international terrorist, and then his mother, David Hunter's ex-wife, conveniently gunning him down on the screen and shooting him in the chest 3 times, and he gets up the next episode and says, oh, well, what's the menu for tonight then, Mr. Chance? You know, I mean...
At its peak, Crossroads attracted over 17 million viewers. But success turned sour on the night the motel burnt down.
Going well, is it?
In an attempt to update the show, scriptwriters tried to kill off the old characters.
Meg is quitting?
Oh, my God! The motel! It's on fire! Mom! Ah!
Not even the Queen of Crossroads was safe from their clutches.
Oh, my God!
But this was too much for the viewers. Meg's funeral was filmed, but never shown. Instead, she turned up on the QE2 and sailed out of the series in style. After her departure in 1981, the series changed beyond recognition. It became slicker and more polished in an attempt to go upmarket. It was even given a new name. But it lost almost half its viewers.
Well, that is the time when Noel Gordon was sacked and Meg was forced to leave the motel. And to most regular viewers, that was the end of Crossroads. And those of us who still watch it out of a sense of faithfulness. And because Jill is still there, she's the only link now with the past. But 81 was the big year when it all fell to pieces, and since then it's deteriorated.
When was that?
John Cabio is Crossroads' most loyal follower. He's watched it since he was 6 and is now setting up the Noel Gordon and Crossroads Appreciation Society to keep the motel's memory alive. But even he agrees it's time it finished.
It's like a friend has become very ill, and it's a blessing that they're going to die. Really, I feel that is what it's like.
That's a terrible thing for you to say. I mean, after all these years, it's awful.
Well, if you love someone and they change and they become very ill, you're glad to see them die, and I feel that's what's happened to Crossroads.
Crossroads Motel, can I... What do you mean? It's over? The end? Oh, it can't be. Goodbye.
Darling, what is it?
Well, it's all over. That's it. It's finished. The end.
I wonder, could I have a room, please?
No. There's no more room at the motel.
But...
And would you welcome, please, the Queen Mum of Crossroads, Anne George, better known as Amy Turtle. Lovely to see you. Now, Anne, you really are a pioneer. You were in the show from the very beginning, weren't you?
No, I was in episode 83.
That was your first one, episode 83?
Yes, and it was in 1964, and I did it for 11 and a half years.
So you retired in 75, but you did come back, didn't you?
Yes. After another 11 years' absence, I went back. And it was a very emotional comeback too, I can tell you. But everybody grabbing hold. You went there.
I didn't grab hold of you, no.
But everybody else did. Everybody, but everybody. Even Billy Wright, the head of sports. He came to poor old Amy Turtle. All I ever did was Nosy Parker. And bitchy. I was terribly bitchy, and I spoke with an exaggerated Brummie accent, you know.
But you also had a reputation for forgetting your lines a bit.
Yes, I know. People said I forgot my lines, but they didn't know. But when I knew my lines, my husband took me through them, and he knew what the other parts were, and he knew who was mucking the show up. They always blamed poor old Amy. And I took it. I never said a word. What was the use?
You were a star on that show. Was the money star money?
Not really. I mean, I've got none now. It went good, but, well, I mean, 11 years, you can spend a lot in 11 years, can't you? Well, it said goodbye to me, but I don't care. I'm living. I'm happy. I've got a good husband. We're both pensioners, and I love it.
How old are you now, Anne?
85. I was 85 on the 5th of this month.
Well, you've got your lines right tonight. It's extraordinary. Do you think it's a show for older people, really, anyway?
Yes, it is. You see, older people saw our show when we started it, and they could identify themselves with the people in the show. Nowadays, they can't do it because all the poor old dears are wondering where the elderly ones have gone. And they nearly weep at me. And everybody in the vicinity calls me Amy. But everybody.
You're looking very moved, Chris.
Pardon?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, was that it?
No, quite seriously, Amy and I, Anne and I, once spent a day doing a huge appearance in Northampton when I was doing Tis Was and Amy was on Cross. And it was incredible. I mean, literally like the arriving of the Queen Mother. People everywhere going, Amy, Amy was extraordinary.
Yes, that's true.
I've met a few of the royalty, but now I've met the real one. Yeah. It's lovely to see you, Anne George, Amy Turtle. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm a fan as well, you know. She's still talking. And that's almost all we have to lay before you, but ere we say goodnight, here's